Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Cynthia Linox Show. I am your host, Cynthia Linox, here to remind you that this is your season. This is your season of self discovery, and it is your season to wake up. Um, there's so many things that are happening around us, and I don't know about you, but it's affected me in a very positive way. When things are happening, I set myself up to be curious, to ask questions, to listen, and to open my mind to learn. And with that, I allow myself the freedom and the liberty to pivot, to change, to modify, and to correct or enhance things in my own life. And as I share it, of course, I am more than happy to share it with you as well. You know, this show really is. Um, I am sharing my passion. My passion is because I know that life has been good to me, and my passion is to see other people um, grow, develop, and evolve, and have a life, become the person that you really want to be, and to live the life that you really want to have. Now, there's so many people that are surviving, and if they're not surviving, they're simply living. And that's not the idea as far as I'm concerned. Again, this show is not for everyone because some people just want to be left alone and they just want to be able to do whatever they want to do. But in most cases, most of us want to thrive. We want to flourish. We want to grow. We want to have a good time. We want to be able to enjoy ourselves the way we decide, the way we determine, the way you decide, the way you determine, the way you want it to be. And if that's just doing nothing, then bring yourself to a place where you can just live a relaxing life doing absolutely nothing. The thing is, in your mind, if you are thriving and not just trying to make ends meet, or living paycheck to paycheck, or not having enough money to do the things or that you want to do, or not having the resources to do the things that you want to do, it's so limiting in all senses. It is so limiting. So um one of the things that I have learned, that I've been sharing with you for the last few months, or yeah, for the last year perhaps, is this whole concept of deconstructing from things that no longer serves you. Because I know that there was a time in my life that I did that. But the more I think about it, and the more I'm seeing the things that are happening around me, I am learning that instead of focusing on deconstructing those things that held us back, those things that no longer serves us, the focus I am seeing now should be on the things that we want. And as things emerges in our lives, things that we remember, the way we used to be, or things that old ideas we used to follow, we can revisit those as they emerge and just change them, change them, modify them, get rid of them. It takes courage to do that. So instead of going through every step of, okay, well, I used to do this, I used to do that. No, 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 no. The focus I'm learning, or uh, I'm becoming really aware, because remember I shared with you that I really never go went through this whole journey of deconstruction, because again, back 16 years ago when I came into fullness, and my life, I just allowed my life to flourish and so forth. That's when I left religion, church, doctrine, and all of that, and just really um decided to forge ahead to create the life that I wanted. And the more I think about it, it's number one, I had to acknowledge where I was. I had to acknowledge where I was positioned mentally and emotionally. I had to come to terms to recognize and acknowledge that I was in a place of following a lifestyle that was limited. I didn't want that. I didn't want to live that way. It wasn't good or bad, right or wrong, but I just wanted more. I wanted more excitement. I wanted to feel like like I was thriving, flourishing, and really having a good life. And I've always wanted that. As a matter of fact, I went through I had a memory on social media today, something that I wrote like 10 years ago, and I pulled it up and I thought, you know what, Cynthia, you have always had that as your passion, and now that I get a chance to share it with you, it really excites me, encourages me, it motivates me, and it inspires me because I see that a lot of people are also becoming mindful. They're waking up and becoming aware of their true, authentic self and realizing that that's really the way to live. That's really the way to live your life. And I'm going to read it for you. This is what I wrote like about 10 years ago. And as I go back, as a matter of fact, I got few days ago, I got a reminder of something that I had written like 5 years ago. So this has been forever. That's been my passion. It's been my goal. It's been the way I have lived and so forth. But it says, know that you can live with passion. And I get so tickled because that's exactly what I share today. Know that you can live with passion. Time is ticking. This is not the time to slow down, feel sorry for yourself, doubt yourself, or say, I can't. Now is your time. Do not procrastinate. Don't make excuses and do not wait until tomorrow. And don't lie to yourself by just settling. Okay? A lot of us sometimes we settle for mediocrity, and we don't even realize it that we're just settling for the bare minimum, and we get used to it. We adjust. And I'm going to read you something that I saw on social media today. This person was talking about their lives and their health and so forth, and it really just really blew my mind. Anyway, it says, and don't lie to yourself by just settling. I say, lighten up. Rid yourself of stress, any kind of stress at all. Smell the coffee, breathe the fresh air, enjoy the sunset, bask in the sun, buy the shoes, eat the dessert, keep it moving, which means, get out and get some exercise and take care of your body. It's the only one you have. I said, laugh with gusto, love intensely, take the scenic route. Whenever you're driving, don't always be so fixed on the same. If you have the opportunity, take the scenic route, take different routes so that you can see different things. I say, take a chance and find pleasure in everything you do. Travel the world, discover new places, meet new people, and learn their culture. Expand your palate with different cuisines. Explore the universe and its beauty. Invest quality time in yourself and have no regrets. Don't apologize for taking a break, for going, for sleeping in late a little bit. Of course, if you're still have the responsibility of a job, you don't have that luxury, at least on the days that you're scheduled to work. But the days that you're not, don't, whenever you want to just sleep in, don't feel guilty about it. Of course, if you have kids, that's a whole different story. But if you don't, or if the kids are old enough to make their own breakfast, have them do that. Okay, it says, invest quality time in yourself and have no regrets. Bask in self love and be grateful for the opportunities you give yourself to have your best life, to live your best life unapologetically. I wrote this about 10 years ago, this particular one, about 10 years ago. And the more I look at the things that I've been writing on social media, all of it has to do with really coming to a place where you can live your best life. Because to flourish, it has a whole different definition as opposed to surviving or just living. There's this person that I know. Every time you ask how they're doing, and they'll say, "Right here, I'm just trying to make it," or surviving, or here just taking it day by day, or one day at a time, and things of that nature. It's these are information that we register in our minds, and what happens is that as you register that in your mind, the program plays itself out. Living is just mere existence. It doesn't mean you're thriving. And when you say surviving, it's like trying to stay above water. It's like if you're drowning and you're trying to survive. And whatever your situation is, know that you can get yourself out of that place. Know yourself that you can move yourself out of that place. If it's in the striving mode or if it's in the living mode, the whole objective is to flourish. It's to thrive. That's why when I was thinking this whole, my narrative on deconstructing from things that no longer serve you, I start thinking, why spend time thinking about the things that no longer serves us? Deal with them as they come up. As you notice, as you feel like you want to do something, let's say whatever it is that you want to do, and then you have some gnawing voice that's telling you, you can't, you shouldn't, what if, and so forth, then you address that. Because what if you can? What if you should? What if you would? Always flip it to the positive. And once you start programming yourself, your mind, and feeding it with information of the things you want, focusing on the things that you want, that is the program that will be registering in your mind. So when you're, opening that file to pull out whatever it is, whether it's whatever it is, to buy something new, to treat yourself, to, redo your whole, recreate yourself, reinvent your life, whatever it is that you want to do, know that that you are the program that you have put in there. That's what is going to play back. Whatever program you put in there, that is what is going to play back. So um, I am now going to focus on the life that we want. How is it that we want to thrive, not to settle? I was coaching someone uh, last week. Yes, last week. And well, I'd been talking to this person, and this person made some drastic steps to uh, to change their life. And I was when I coach someone, whatever decision they make, if it's going to be good for them, if it's going to help you, I am happy for you. It doesn't really affect my life, simply because it's not for me, it's for you. And when I coach someone, I don't tell you what to do. I just use the tools and the techniques to help you become aware of what you already have in you. And as I was talking to this person, and it had to do with the relationship that she was in, a marital relationship, and so forth. And I said, well, uh, I said sometimes we just settle. We just settle for what we have. Those were the words that I used. And and most people go through life just settling, and they don't realize that They could have more, they could have better, they could have bigger if that's what you want. So they called me. She called me last week. I think it was last week sometime, and she said, she made a move and so forth. And wow, I was a little surprised. But then she went on to share with me, and this person is an attorney, and she said, "You used a word that really opened my eyes." And she said, "You said settle." This person is an attorney. And she said, "That is a word that no attorney, her area of law, which she practices, that is an area no attorney wants to hear. We don't want to use that word. We do not want to settle. We want to win every case, because when you settle, that constitute a loss." And she said, "The moment you said that, that word, I start to reassess my own life with unpacking that word and how it applies to my own life. Am I settling?" And when I spoke with her, I said, "Okay, let's look at the positive about yourself." I said, "You're young, you're beautiful, you're educated, you're smart, you're intelligent, you're independent, you have your own resources, you have your house. As a matter of fact, you have a couple of houses." I said, "You have your own vehicle, you own a business, and you have a career." I said, "You have a lot going for you." Um, uh, so if you were to, if someone were to say to you, "What do you have to bring to the table?" There's a lot that, and I don't believe in that whole question when people meet and they ask each other, what do you bring to the table? I don't believe in that, but I'm saying, I said to her, if somebody asks you that, I said, consider all these traits and attributes and characteristics that you have. I said, you're friendly, you have great social skills, good manners, you attract people like you. And I said, because I don't know this person very well. I said, "I don't know you, but based on what I have observed, all the things that I mentioned to her were observable qualities that I saw and that I know." I know she's independent because of the way she moves and things. I know she's self-sufficient. I know that, she's young, she's beautiful, she has a business, she has 4 kids, and with these kids she has a wonderful relationship. That says a lot about a mother. She has a great relationship with all 4 kids, and I know that because one time we were in the middle of a conversation, and her son called her. He's in another country, and he called, and I kind of got gist of what the conversation was, and he was saying, "Well, here I am with my, so and so, and we're talking about this." And the friend is the son is like, "Hello," and so forth. He's also a businessman, and he was talking about getting her a new car, and just the conversation. And by the time she ended the conversation, which she cut it short because we were in the middle of chatting. She was just elated and had so many good things to say about her son and her other 3 kids. So anyway, all these things that I mentioned to this person, they were observable traits, attributes, characteristics. Yes, she's smart. Yes, she's intelligent. Yes, she's an attorney. Yes, she owns, a couple of houses, and she is independent and so forth. So, anyway, she made decisions because she heard me use that word, mediocrity. Many of times we settle for mediocrity, and we don't realize it. We go on with life as if that's the norm. We normalize mediocrity and we don't even realize it. So if I can get you to the place where you become aware, do you realize how people are waking up today? Do, have you, hopefully, if you watch this program, uh, consistently, you know that I talk a lot about being relevant, to stay relevant, to be in the know, to know what's going on around you. It doesn't mean you have to spend hours, uh, on the news or anything. I don't. I don't even, we hardly turn on our television, but be in the know what's going on, know, politically and in the whole world, internationally, know what is going on. And people are waking up. People no longer want to be ruled. And that starts with an individual. It starts with you. It starts making you feel like uncomfortable. It's like, no, I don't want this anymore. I don't want to be ruled and controlled and manipulated. That's not, we are not created to be ruled or controlled or manipulated. We are given certain autonomy, certain awareness where we can conduct our lives with our own morality based on the things that we deem, the whole golden rule, treat others the way you want to be treated. I don't subscribe to that golden rule because some people are okay with treating themselves, in a very diminutive, small way, and just settling for the lesser. As a matter of fact, I someone said this morning in a podcast, and it wasn't a podcast. No, that wasn't a podcast. That was someone else. This was a written statement they wrote, and I anyway, I'm gonna read it and have you make an assessment to see if that's how it affects you. This person said, and she's talking about her health because the topic had to do with health. And she said, I am. Now, whenever you start a sentence with I am, you have already taken ownership. Do you know that your brain registers that? When you say I am, your brain owns that. It takes it upon itself. So if somebody says, I am poor, or I am sick, or I am limited, or whenever you say I am, your brain registers that. That's why when I say I am, my husband and I, like, he would say, well, yeah, you it's funny because he would say, "Can you buy me this and can you buy me that?" Or if I'm out, because I'm the one that would be, running around out doing errands and so forth. And he would say, and I would say, "Hey, wait a minute, this was like $50." And he would say, "Well, you have money, you can, you can buy it." And then I would say, "Well, yeah, I am rich. I am rich, and I do have money. I am rich." And we go through things like that because he knows that I am aware of those two words. I am. Anyway, let's get back to this person that was talking about herself and talking about her health. She said, I am a well controlled diabetic for over 30 years. And from my parents, I also inherited kidney disease. I am in third stage renal failure. Please follow me. Her next sentence was, I have been blessed for over 22 years with consistent labs. God is good. I'm going to read it again so that you can get the gist of it. I don't know, because I'm always unpacking things. I'm a person of words. I'm a critical thinker, and I listen to how people talk, and being a life coach, it also helps you assess where people are at based on the things they share. It helps you assess their mindset. Has this person leveled up, or are they at a standstill? They're stuck in their ways. They are, a person of the status quo, cliche, traditional values, conventional norms. You assess that in a very short time once you start talking to someone. That's why in my coaching, I offer a 30-minute intro session free so that I can assess where that person is at for two reasons. Number one, to see if there's the right chemistry, giving you the opportunity to check that out, and I also have the opportunity if I deem that we can work together. And then number two, it helps me assess where you are at and what tools I may need to use in order for our sessions to be effective. Let me read this again. This person says, again, they're talking about health. The whole idea was about health and genetics and things of that nature. And they said, I am a well controlled diabetic for over 30 years. And from my parents, I also inherited kidney disease. I am in third stage renal failure. I've been blessed for over 22 years with consistent labs. God is good. Now, you can unpack that however your mind works. But with me, when somebody says, they share that they have been a diabetic, first of all, they're owning it. So that will never, I know that the body is created to heal itself. I know that, my own, I'm in good health. And whenever something pops up, I try to go to the root before I go for the symptoms. It doesn't mean I don't take an Aleve or Tylenol if I need to, but very, very rarely. I like to go to the root because if you can address issue at the root level, then you can pluck it out. If I take a Tylenol, it kind of just covers the symptoms. And that's not what I want. As a matter of fact, I'm going to tell you something. I'll get back to this person here. But I remember there was a time about 4 years ago that I was breaking out. And I had no idea. I was just breaking out. My nose, my cheeks, just breaking out. And, I was trying to put stuff on it, creams, whatever. And nothing worked. So I went to a dermatologist, and he did all the tests, necessary tests, and so forth. And then he said that I had rosacea, and he said nothing to be concerned. He said, it's not malignant. It's nothing malignant, and it's just something that happens. So in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, you're gonna help me to get rid of it, or let me know what I need to do to get rid of it. And he said, and it's something that doesn't have a cure. There's no cure for rosacea. Rosacea. There's no cure for it. It's something that has no cure. It's an autoimmune, and it stays there. So I was very disappointed because I don't, and he said, I'm going to give you this cream, and this cream, you apply it twice a day. And, you apply it, when you shower during the day, you apply it, and you can put it on your makeup, whatever. And then you apply it at night once you wash your face. And I said, well, how long should I take it? He said, well, you'll be taking this for the rest of your life. And that's one statement that I despise when a doctor tells me that. I despise that statement, but then again, it motivates me. So he gave me a prescription for 12 months for this cream. And I was supposed to, again, renew it every month because you use it twice a day and so forth. So he calls in the first prescription with 11 refills, and I picked it up. Went to pick up the prescription. It was like $200 for that cream. That ointment was a cream, and I used it for like probably about a week, but at the same time, very hesitant because I don't like doing stuff. I don't like putting stuff externally. I'm kind of like health conscious and health minded. And, I am one that believes that the body is created to heal itself. And you just need to get to the root, address things at the cellular level and discover what the deal is. So after a week, I said, you know what? No, I'm not doing it. I'm not. So I have not used that. So I went and I start digging and searching and all over. I start digging and searching and so forth. And I think it was probably, it could have been, uh, uh, you know, months later, perhaps even a year later. No, it was less than that. My skin started clearing up. And I don't know if it was stress. We all have certain amount of stress that we deal with. Um, my husband would say, well, you don't have anything to stress about. And that's true. But sometimes, even planning a vacation, because I'm the one that, does the planning and so forth. That can be stressful because you're trying to book this, coordinate flights, connecting flights, tours, this, that, the other. And there's an element of stress. But then again, we're built that way to handle certain number of stress. Anyway, my skin started clearing up. But then I wanted to make sure that it was something that wouldn't come back. And then I wasn't one that drank a lot of water because I don't have a taste for water. I don't like water, just water, regardless, even bottled water, because I used to buy bottled water, try to drink it, and so forth. And come to find out, I did come into what would work for me. I discovered something that would work for me, something that would work for me to get rid of any breakouts and all of that. I discovered it. I found the remedy. And it's not about what you apply on the outside, it's what goes on the inside. And at the same time, how your body detoxifies and eliminate things that no longer serve you, things that are not good for the cells that are, that wants to regenerate and so forth. And I discovered that. And it's been, again, number one, it wasn't rosacea. It wasn't rosacea because I have no flaws in terms of breakout on my skin. That's not an experience that I've had in about, I would say, in about 3 years. I have not had that kind of since I left the doctor's office and I had the breakout and so forth. It stopped. But I took the time to go and dig and so forth. So I'm sharing this with you so that because I decided I don't believe everything that I hear. And I am one that I ask so many questions. Sometimes my husband's like, you would say something and he's like, I haven't researched that. So this is all I know, because he knows that I'm going to delve in and ask more questions. So, but I went and I delved in and I have been, first of all, in my mind, it was probably a misdiagnosed because he said, you will have that for the rest of your life. And and this cream, you'll be using this cream for the rest of your life. Imagine that, every day, morning and night, putting this cream on my face. And not only that, I don't really, $200, that's a nice pair of shoes. You can do a lot with $200. That's a nice dinner. You could go out and have a nice meal for $200. I didn't want to be paying $200 for medication at all. So that's what I do. And again, what has it done? It's caused me to thrive. It's caused me to thrive. I learned what worked for me, and it caused me to thrive. And now, as a matter of fact, this morning, because I've been walking a lot, now that, because during the winter I kind of became a little sedentary, and one of the things that I love to do is to walk. So I've been walking, I've been jogging, and when that happens, I am like sweating and perspiring. And your skin is one of the organs where you eliminate toxins from your body. So it's good. Sweating is good. When you come back, you just take a shower. But I am sweating when I'm walking because um, I walk, and I walk a long distance. As a matter of fact, this week I wanted to do like a 5 mile walk, and I accomplished that. And anyway, I was happy with that. So, again, that is self care for me. But this person, now they're saying, and obviously they're settling. I talk about when I said, and don't lie to yourself by just settling. She says that she has been blessed for over 22 years with consistent labs. Now, I don't know what that means to her, but I don't really call that a blessing. That, to me, would not be a blessing. Because if I had made a decision to use the cream and say, well, the breakouts have minimized, that would be a blessing. I guess it could be, but that's not how I see it. I wanted it gone. I wanted it gone from my face, from my skin. I wanted it gone. And after doing a lot of research, I discovered what worked for me, and that's what I did. But this person, she said that she's been blessed with consistent for over 22 years. First of all, she's been diabetic, uh, controlled diabetic for over 30 years. And then she said she inherited kidney disease from her parents, and that she's at uh, in the third stage renal failure, and that she's been blessed for 22 years, over 22 years with consistent labs. And with that, she says God is good. Now, this is not, I didn't intend to talk about anything religious today, but when I read that, I thought that's really interesting, because when people say God is good, I don't know. To me, that is like, because most religious people today, like from the Christian religion, they would say, I'm not in religion. I have a relationship with God. And if that were to be a relationship, I would question it 100%. It's like, how can you be with someone who has the ability to do something for you and stands by, sits by, silent bystander, and see you go through 30 years with an ailment that they could snap their finger and avoid the labs and bring you to normalcy and bring you to a place where you can thrive. Not only do you have the diabetes, but then now you have wound up with third stage of renal failure. My friends, and for her, obviously, she has entered the lifestyle of settling. For that person, they have settled. They have settled, and for that person, that is their point of, uh, in that case, would be surviving, living, surviving. Either one. That's not where you want to go. That's not where you want to be. You want to be at a place where you are thriving. And when you use the words I am, anything that you say, it's I am thriving. I am prosperous. I am healthy. Not that I am healing, or I am being delivered, or I am, no, 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 no. I am healed. I am healthy. And of course, with that, you do the things that are necessary to take care of yourself. One of the things that and we should, everyone should know this. One of the things that I value the most or one of the things, the most important thing in all of our lives, in everyone's life, the most important thing in your life is your health. Your health is the most important thing in your life. What's his name? Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs was a, I guess, beyond millionaire. Steve Jobs was the chief executive officer of Apple Computer. And he had some kind of a debilitating disease, which ultimately took his life. And I'm not sure the way he said it, but what he meant to say is that with all the money that he has, the one thing he could not outsource, the one thing that he could not ask someone to carry for him, I think he had cancer of some sort or whatever. And he said all the money that he had, he could not, the one thing that he would have paid everything to get rid of, money could not buy. And that was his health. That was his health. So when it comes to your health, that's the number one. It doesn't matter what you are going through. It doesn't matter what the situation is in your life. Your health, even if you are, um, even if you are working your way to a place of abundance, by programming your mind, in the thoughts of abundance. In the meantime, try to, if you're gonna eat something, and sometimes it's best to have fruits and vegetables as opposed to fast food or fried foods. And I know that fast food probably is bigger and bulkier and can make you feel full, but that's not the objective. The objective is to take care of yourself, because you know something, when you feel your best, when you feel good, when you feel good, you become empowered. You start feeling empowered. You start feeling empowered. You feel good, you look good, you have your own swag, you're healthy. One of my goals, and when I say goals, I want it to be at a place where I take no medication, none, zero. And I've been that way for the longest time. Not even, as a matter of fact, my husband would say, because sometimes I just want to take a nap. And he would say, well, you should take some vitamin B12 or whatever. My husband, we have two different protocols. Like I would be, like he would say, oh, honey, you need to taste this. And I would say, well, I'll taste it later because right now I'm fasting. He's like, fasting? I thought you end your fast at a certain time. And, because it's a personal thing. And he is not one that fasts, but I do. That works for me. That works for me. When I had to, because in the past I would be like, oh, okay, and break my fast and taste it. He would, because he can put stuff together that's really great. And sometimes he would, anyway, and I would say, well, no, I'll try it later. I'm fasting, whatever. That's my thing. My friend, I cannot even stress to you how important it is that you take care of yourself. And you know what? Don't buy into this. Again, we are focusing on where we want to go. We are not just like deconstructing anything. I'm done with deconstructing. You know why? Because when does it end? When does deconstruction end? You always have things that comes back to you from, especially if you grew up with, in a certain culture of doing certain things, there will always be things. So that's why I share with you today that I am no longer deconstructing. That word, to me, it's perpetual. It's like never ending. The focus is going to be where you want to go. What is the life that you want to live? And some of you share that, even in relationships, you want to have this kind of relationship, but you're not sure, and this, that, the other. whatever relationship that you take on, if it's if it's an intimate relationship, amorous, relationship with someone or whatever, keep it private. Keep it private. Get to a place where you have an understanding as to why you do what you do, know who you are, know that you're not created to be ruled, and you keep it private. When I was dating my husband, it seems like it was yesterday, and we've been married for a long time, but we keep it fresh. And we are really private people. It's like myself. I share a lot on social media, yet I'm a private person. What I share is stuff that I don't, I can, the things that I share is stuff that I don't care about. This nice meal, we went to this restaurant, that's no big deal. You don't know when I'm going, you know that I went after the fact. And a lot of things about me, I just keep private. Why? Because I'm a private person. The same when I was dating my husband. That was a private matter. And because I had been in a setting, like church setting for a long time, and I was single, and no one had ever seen me with a man, because I didn't want to waste my time dating anyone until I felt there was a connection. And that's when I met my husband, and I thought, okay, this, and then I agreed to date him. And because no one had ever seen me with someone, because I, even though there were suitors, but I didn't like bring anyone to church with me or whatever. I didn't do any of that. If there was not a click, I just didn't bother with that. um but then when I started dating my husband, I kept it private. I kept it private. I kept it so private. And I'm glad I did. And until this day, we keep our lives private. We don't let anyone between us. We don't let anyone into our relationship. We keep it private. We have, of course, we have family and friends with whom we share different things. Um, but we don't let anyone in to, like, at all. That just doesn't happen. And as I said before, not even God. We don't even let God into our marriage. Well, that's a whole different story. That's not something that we subscribe to, but it works better. Look at all relationships where the center of your relationship is God. And we have seen so many marriages come apart. So many marriages end in divorce. As a matter of fact, we have, there are some pastors in ours, where I used to go, that they divorce and marry and divorce again. And you've seen it. And then, so many pastors have issues with sexual assault to minors. Too many issues. Anyway, that's not where I'm going with this. We need to stay focused. We need to stay focused and not live and not accept mediocrity. That is not the goal. The goal is for you to thrive. The goal is for you to empower yourself. The goal is for you to know your skills, your talent, your ability, your expertise. The goal is for you to know who you are and begin to thrive in your authentic self, to live a life that's organic, where you don't have to pretend, where you don't have to perform, where you don't have to try to please people or worry about them liking you or not, or worry about what people say, what they think. That's not where our focus is. Our focus is on you, and it starts with your health. Make sure you're doing the right things for you, whatever works for you, because what works for me may not work for you. And because we have different makeup, we're designed differently, and our thought process, the way I program my mind, it works for me. When I put something in my mind, it's going to happen. Ask my mom. Well, my mom is gone, but my mom used to say that, and my husband says the same thing. He says I can trust you with certain things, because when you speak it, it's going to happen. And yeah, because it's been years that I keep programming my mind that way. To me, that is a way of life. Negativity or pessimism, those are not things that surround my life. That's why, I don't, fear is not something that you can uh, spring upon me, or, I'm not motivated by fear. I'm not motivated by fear. So this is a time, my friend, of awareness, of focus. You want to focus on yourself. You want to be aware of what's happening. You want to wake up. You want to wake up to see the things that are happening around you. People are changing. People are saying no mas. That's it. I've had it. Enough. And people are saying no, 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 no. You know, poor no more, limited no more, and scarcity no more. People are thinking in terms of, yes, I can, and so can you. So can you, my friend. So can you. Don't let anyone tell you that you can't. The only person that can convince themselves that they can't, cannot is you. Why would you do that? Keep your affairs private. Sometimes you can't share certain things with people because the first thing that's going to come out of their mouths is discouragement or negativity. And you don't want that. You don't want that. Explore your power to create. It is inherent. It is inherent. Don't wait for someone to do something or to tell you something. As a matter of fact, stop listening to outside sources. Why do you insist? Don't insist. And I'm talking to those of you that follow me here on my show, to encourage you, to motivate you to thrive, not just to live or to survive, but to thrive. That is the plan. That is the focus. That is the goal. That is the objective, that you will live a life, whether you're single, whether you're married, divorced, separated, widow, whatever your status is at this time, you are able to thrive. Even if you're in a marriage that's like this, up and down, you like this, he doesn't like that, and whatever. I'm looking at, yeah. Uh, then you can determine what's going to work for you. Sometimes, I know this couple. One person likes to travel, the other one doesn't like to travel, and every time you see, excuse me, you see the wife traveling by herself all over the world. And I think one time she made reference to her husband doesn't like to fly or something like that. But she work it out and she travels by herself. But if you can take the initiative and say, honey, I'm going to plan this or whatever, then you can both enjoy things together. But the point is, you can't drag with you someone that doesn't want to go. And it's not your responsibility to, you can't make someone aware. You can't wake someone up. That comes with time. That's why now that I share this with you, you will take this information and other things that you hear in your surrounding, and you would make it work for you. Wake up, become aware. It's time for you to flourish, and it starts with self-care. Make sure you take care of yourself, because I'm telling you, my friend, if a finger hurts, it hurts. I don't want any kind of pain at all. And if I can avoid it or do the things to mitigate, to stop, not even to mitigate, because mitigate is like settling, just the lesser of the two. If I can do anything to get rid of it, to get rid of whatever it is, and try to address stuff, from where it starts, from the root, from the cellular level. Learn about these things. Learn how your body functions. And, we all function differently, and we all have different situations. And, you know, I don't even know if you call it a goal, but I simply didn't want to be on any medication. And I've tried to take like vitamins, like multivitamins, or then sometimes I would take like individual vitamin and so forth. And uh last year, I think it was last year, I saw my doctor and she said that I was low on vitamin D and so forth. And now we know we get vitamin D from the sun. So now I have my walk about a couple hours in the morning out in the sun and I don't, I'm well melanated, so I don't do the what do you call it? The stuff that you put on your the sunscreen. I don't do sunscreen. That's just me. That's just me. You may need to do it. You need to find out what works for you. I just really want the sun to just bathe me with its rays and in the morning, not in the afternoon. So learn what works for you and do that. We're changing our focus. We're not going through deconstructing all that stuff. When you reach a point where you see that there's a block and something is blocking you from moving forward, then you deal with that. And in most cases, my friend, all it takes is a decision. You make a decision. I'm going to change this. I'm going to stop this. And in my case, I had to go back and read and say, wait a minute, do I really believe that? Do I believe that? It's like this person, she's got all this situation with her health, and then she says, God is good. That doesn't even make a lick of sense, because if you have a relationship with a deity that is all powerful, all knowing, and is present everywhere. He knows where she is. You know, he is present where she is. He knows what her situation is, her medical situation, and he has the power to heal her, to make her whole. And he doesn't. It doesn't make any sense. Do you see how we don't think? There's no critical. Not. I mean, don't even call it critical thinking. There's no thinking there. This person is functioning on autopilot, traditional habits, beliefs, limiting beliefs, and conventional norms. This is a person that I, to try to coach somebody with that mindset, it would take a long time. I wouldn't say I wouldn't do it. Uh, they would want to have it, because when I take on a client, you're the one that's seeking the help. You're the one that want the coaching. I don't try to impose anything upon anyone. So I'm going to leave you with that, my friend. Our focus today, our focus moving forward, is on thriving, living a life where we will thrive, not just surviving and not just living, but thriving. And it all begins with self-care. Take care of your health, take care of the way you nourish your body, and not only physically but mentally and emotionally. And with that, you will start seeing changes. And then with that, you start planning and doing the things that you love to do, and just embrace life in its fullest, and um, uh, live your best life, and do it unapologetically. I'm going to leave you with that. Every Thursday at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, I'm right here. You see these icons over here? Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. You can pick up the show 24/7 if you can't meet me here at 2 p.m. Central Time every Thursday. Um, Obviously, some people are at work. So, anyway, you can pick it up 24/7 on either YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, and so forth. Um, if you want to drop me a note, the information is right here. Info at thecynthialinoxshow.com. I'm also a certified coach. You can drop me a line at the same address, and we can chat if you find that you can use some extra help with someone to guide you along and support you in your journey. In the meantime, amigos, Have a fantastic weekend once you finish out tomorrow, Friday. And we will see you next week, same time, same place. And ciao, hasta luego, hasta la vista, au revoir, à tout à l'heure, and